Hey guys, back today to give you the future of NCAA sports. Like, what's it going to look like? Because if you look, currently there's a lot of changes. Even, we've gone to the 14 playoff system in football, and I'm mostly going to be talking about football right now. But what I'm going to talk about actually applies to every single sport, men's and women's, and can be applied across the country. And currently, the NCAA is run by conferences, which make no sense. They're supposed to be regional, and they're not. Obviously, when Rice was in the Southwest Conference, it was regional. It was interesting and created local dynamics and probably brought the best out of all the different teams in the state. But those days are long gone, and now conferences don't really make any sense. It makes no sense for them to have power. The power should be in the schools, obviously. And so my prediction and my proposal is that the NCAA, the future, is going to be copying essentially how the football or soccer leagues work in Europe. And I'll just use the English Premier League and the other English football leagues below it to explain the situation. And first off, the reason why football or soccer is so popular on the world, a lot of times, in my opinion, is because it's very competitive. And I'll show you why. So currently what I suggest is in the English Premier League, it's 20 teams. It's the top 20 teams in England for that year. And they all play each other, one game at home, one game on the road. But what's interesting is that the bottom three teams in that league, no matter what, if you come in 18th, 19th, or 20th, you get kicked out of the league. You get to go to a lower league. And the top three teams in the lower league get to come up, which makes every game more competitive. There's no, if you're terrible, you just get sent out of the league. You don't get to sit there and just, create money and nonsense. So it looks kind of like this. I don't know if we can see it. We can't, but that's okay. Basically, it's just the league works. My proposal is to have 10 teams each league. Currently, there's 130 teams in the FBS, so it'd be easy to make 13 separate leagues that are all fluid. So you have the top 10 teams right now. Rather than having an argument, who's the best, we'll actually get to find out who the best is. So you take the top 10 teams in NCAA football. They all play each other. We have a winner, and then whoever gets last in that league goes down to the second league. And whoever gets in this, whoever comes in first place in the second league, the next year moves up to the first league. And obviously, there's going to be so much money involved in sponsorships of these different leagues as they go. There's going to be so much money coming in that it can sponsor these different leagues. And what's also important is, let's say you're in the lower league, because Rice currently clearly would be in the last league. We're probably the worst team in the country. What it does, first off, it lets you play against people that are your same talent level as a team, so the fans aren't bored to death every game when you're going out there trying to stall to get the game over so you don't lose by 30 rather than 40 or whatever it is. The fans are bored to death. I'm bored to death watching them. It's really sad to see. So Rice all of a sudden would be in a situation where we could compete for a championship that league. Even if we're in the 13th league, we can move up to the 12th league hopefully next year, and then hopefully the 11th league, and move on and move on and move on. It creates a tradition and it creates interest all the time. Because no matter what league you were in, if you're the worst team in the league, you get sent to a lower league the next year, or a lower division, whatever you want to call it. And this can be replicated. And also, I suggest in football, every team have basically a challenge game where you can challenge another team. You have one game a year that's not part of your league. So let's see if you want to use it as a rivalry game. Let's say Texas versus A&M, or if Houston versus Rice wanted to do it, whatever it may be. And that game wouldn't have any really repercussions other than for pride, which is what it really is about. So you finally get to see teams try different tactics and use some backup players, because that game doesn't affect their standing in the league. And currently, right now, the way it does, every game in college football counts towards some arbitrary number of poll rankings, which just kind of creates this weird who's trying, who's not this game, and it really doesn't make it interesting because nothing changes every week. And also, right now, currently, Manchester United's valued over $3 billion. And the way Rice has looked at sports is that, Rice, it pays to have a sports program. We lose, then Carl Lagarde asks for more money, then he loses more, then he asks for more money. And what I'm suggesting is that the football program, and not just that, but Rice's athletic program is so valuable because it has authenticity. And Manchester United 40 years ago wasn't worth $3 billion. It was worth almost nothing. But it's a real sport and a real competitive environment in England, and it caught on. It's caught on around the world. And I think the same thing can happen in college football. And I don't think it can happen in NFL, in other sports, because it's not competitive anymore. There's no punishment for losing. And when there's punishment for losing, it makes games true competitions again, rather than just spectacles. And so the NCAA actually has a monopoly on competition right now, which is why people watch it, because people actually try to win, except for Rice. We just try not to embarrass ourselves as bad as we can, because we're clueless and we don't know what we're trying to do. But that's going to be a different video. So my point of view is that if it would first off be a terrible idea for Rice to ever get rid of its football program. My potential, it's too valuable to get rid of. And not to mention also, the Rice R that we have, the old script R, is one of the most, it's very recognizable even around the world. And it was so dumb to get rid of that. Like, why Carl Lagarde would go and get rid of the most notable thing we have that sticks out to everybody. He wants to do away with it. Sounds like daddy issues to me. Probably why he got rid of Coach Graham too. But again, another video. So what I'm proposing is that our college athletic program should not only make money, but should be paying the school back. We should be giving to the school's endowment every single year, but we're not running it that way. We should obviously be working to sell more advertising everywhere. I think it makes no sense not to sell advertising on jerseys, and I think that's where the NCAA should go also. It doesn't take away any of the nostalgia. It doesn't take away any of the competitiveness to have a corporate atmosphere as far as, okay, we're going to sell this and sell this because we need to keep our program running. That makes sense. But right now we're currently playing in corporate style, which makes no sense. We need to play like wild people and then run the whole place as an athletic program to make money. I mean, it's up to me. I will sell the 50-yard line if possible. I will sell literally everything. And there's a reason for that. It's because we need to be self-sufficient. Not only that, we need to give money back to the university every year. And I think it can be done. It can be the authenticity that Rice has is unbelievable. It's off the charts. There's a reason JFK comes to Rice, and speaks. There's a reason even George Bush comes to Rice. All these other people, they come to Rice because Rice is authentic. And we're not using that. We're becoming more corporate, and specifically in our athletic department, we're run by hapless men right now that don't understand what the Rice spirit and the Rice honor and the Rice family is. And if we can get back into reaching out to the community and involving everybody, all of a sudden we're going to have people at the games. And not only that, we're going to be playing styles of football and basketball that are going to be so aggressive and so fun to watch that even if you're not a Rice fan, you're going to want to come watch just because, wow, this is interesting to watch. As it currently stands, we play the most boring style of football possible, and we suck at it. Like, the way we're playing football will only work if you have a talent level the size of Alabama. If you have that many, if you have that many weapons, you can play any style and win. But when you don't have the best athletes, you have to work around and find different styles. And we're not. We're basically the redcoats walking in to ambushes over and over and never changing anything and wondering why we keep losing. It's very moronic tactically, and it needs to change. But going back, Rice Athletics could make billions of dollars coming in the future. That's how much this is going to be worth. Sports is not getting smaller. It's getting way, way bigger in the United States. And when sports betting starts coming around and being more accepted and promoted, which I'll make another video about that, the state of Texas needs to have a sports book, in my opinion. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And Rice needs to position itself to take advantage of this. If we do that, we could become a massive net positive financial, money stream back to the university rather than costing the university money. And we can do this without paying players. And if we ever get to a spot where we do make so much money where we can play players, I would say we need to pay every single student at Rice University equally with that money, including the players. So whatever money we're going to pay the players with, we take that and divide it by the students at Rice, and everybody gets it equally because we're part of the university. We have to maintain that. But we've been such a bad part of the university for the last 10 years, the last 5 years specifically, that it's embarrassing. And no wonder there's so much hostility from a lot of the faculty and saying, why are we wasting your money on this? I agree. Why are we wasting our money if we're going to try to lose the whole time and never try to change anything or try to change our path to where we can see the future? But we're not doing that. We're being very, very reactive. And once we position ourselves to take advantage of the future of what's coming with the NCAA, the higher we can get ourselves in this divisions, the more money we're going to make. We can't be in the 13th division if we don't have to. We need to try to get up to the mid division. And once that starts happening, all of a sudden the money starts coming in. You start getting better recruits. And all of a sudden you can start building your way up and become a national power. It can actually happen. Rice University has that much authenticity. That is what Rice is about. Authenticity. We have that, but we're wasting it. We're not using it, and we're actually losing it right now. Every day that goes by where Joe Carlgard's in charge of this sham athletic department is one more day that Rice loses authenticity. He fired what Rice's spiritual leader, which is Wayne Graham. And honestly, personally, I would have suggested Coach Graham stop coaching also. But that's because I think he's more valuable other places to humanity. Nobody understands how smart this man is. To not use him, or at least, like, why wouldn't you offer him the AD job or the assistant AD job or find somewhere to do? He showed him no respect because he has no respect. Carlgard has no respect for what Rice is. That's the problem. And if we can change that direction, we can rebuild something that's amazing. And see, it'd be different if I was just saying nonsense and you thought, okay, oh, this guy's crazy. I said the same thing 15 years ago and everybody said, oh, he's crazy. And then we won the national championship and everybody's like, oh, well, maybe he's not crazy. We're back to that spot. Trust me on this. We have to make drastic changes now. And if we do that, we can get the entire Houston community on board. There's so much money in Houston, Texas. For the Rice University to not make a profit in athletics is embarrassing. It's absolutely fucking embarrassing. And it's got to change. We can win, and we can make money doing it, and we can have fun doing it, and we can honor the Rice ideals and the Rice honor while doing it. And we've done none of that over the last 5 years. It's time for a massive change. All right. Talk to you later.